Any advice and information from this podcast is general only. It has been prepared without taking into account your individual circumstances and needs. Before acting on any advice from this podcast, you should assess and seek advice on whether it is appropriate for your needs, financial situation, and investment objectives.
What about the people, like I guess we all have different priorities. Maybe financial freedom isn't one
Correct.
for
Some people
some
don't care.
parents. Yeah, maybe it's I want to buy the Land Cruiser.
Nothing wrong with it. Yeah, we're not here. And I outline, I don't know if you do, I outline to a lot of clients, especially when they come into like the compensation side or inheritance or large sums of money. Not here to tell you what to do with your money. Go out and buy, because you don't know you don't know their whole life story. They might have grown up on next to the gutter for their whole life, never had anything, and then they receive, like an insurance payout or something of $500,000. And you've had a couple of young clients have that. Yeah, not here to tell you don't go buy that car or jet ski, but we definitely outline what it kind of looks like and try and fit it into their goals of what's that few $100,000 in that car and jet ski going to look like versus, hey, if you and your young spouse and your potential young kid coming along in a house somewhere, one's going to help you and one's probably not. It's going to look flash on Instagram, but that's just me as a 40-year-old saying it.
Do you think it's important then to set goals with your kids?
As long as they're ready. Not every kid's ready for it.
Yeah.
Financial goals, they've got to be sort of ready for it. Like I'm definitely meeting teenagers that I say compared to when I was a teenager, whether they're 15, 16, some it's just not in their just not in their space. Yeah. And some are super focused, whether it's professional, academic, sporting, financial. I'll meet people every now and then that are switched on. And as I said, because it's all on a laptop or phone now, you can someone's like, I don't want to buy a share. I don't even know what it is. Everyone's got a phone. You can literally there's no excuses kind of now, like nothing against it. But it's got to be in your wheelhouse. If you're absolutely not interested in it, then you're probably not going to ask those questions.
Yeah, and there's some people that aren't, I guess, their mindset's towards investment properties, say, instead of shares. And some people are towards shares instead of investment properties.
We see that a lot with our clients, don't we? Yeah. It's and that might have come from that whole psychological parental mentor thing you might have grown up with, where you've seen your parents or family do really well with the real estate investment, 100%. And that's kind of all you know because it's kind of tangible, all these other, and some people just swear by the share market. Like, sometimes there might be a bit of bias in there, but it's definitely want to open up, especially for kids. It's not about saying do this, do that. This is right and wrong.
Exposing
some things that were. Yep. It's kind of like food. I don't know what. Like if my kids sort of turn their nose up at something that looks a little bit different, especially if we travelled overseas and foods are very different. They've got no exceptions though. That like we don't eat Maccas or anything when we go overseas. Like you eat what the locals do, give or take. But what did you know about, I don't know, ice cream before you ate it? If you haven't sort of tried it, financially it's a bit different because you might learn some really hard lessons. But most people that learn those hard financial lessons, it usually benefits them.
I feel like I was really lucky because my parents kind of dabbled in investment properties and, shares. I think it was, the big four banks. So, like stable, not actively trading all the time. And I feel like because I was exposed to both of them, probably more the shares, I was much more comfortable researching it and understanding it later in life and even investing in it.
That might have come from what you learned as a kid.
I feel like it really helped as a kid kind of just learning about it from my parents and what their experience is, and it just opened my mind, I guess, to a lot of different things. And
what do you think your outlook would have been if that wasn't the case? Do you think you'd have your mentality now if your parents would just go to work, put your money under the mattress or in the savings account because there'll be no stock market crashes, there'll be no real estate dumps? Like, do you think you'd still have the same mindset or?
Yeah, well, I feel
it's hard to say because, you're here now, so.
I started investing in shares, I think when I was maybe mid-20s.
Yep.
I feel like I wouldn't have started investing in my mid-20s if I didn't have that knowledge or that exposure, which can make a big difference if you start investing in your mid-20s or, your 40s, 50s.
Yeah. It's that is really interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it might some people it might be the other way. They might have seen mum and dad lose a bit of money, and that's just kind of shut them off.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going.
that's
Even when they're in their
true.
20s and 30s, and there's a friend or a colleague that's like, "Hey, have you heard about this managed fund or whatever?" And they're just like, "Nah, mum and dad lost it in the GFC," or "Nan and granddad." And we hear heaps of that,
Yeah,
especially
we
whether it's
do.
super or share market. The GFC rocked a heap of people at the end of start of mid '08, end of '08. It definitely stung a lot of people. Once bitten, twice shy. But there's an education piece below that. It's hard. Lessons are sort of hard there, but and do you think, and from the clients you're sort of seeing, are there any other kind of psychological barriers you might see that they might push onto their kids, or during your appointment? If we don't usually get kids in the appointment or meeting clients, but they might just talk about. You might ask them about real estate or shares, or when you talk about their super. Hey, did you know you can invest your money in super in here? Property, and they're just like, nah, share market, no way. Like, is that?
There is a lot of that. Hey, a lot of people are even scared to talk about superannuation, what it's invested in, because it might be the environment they're in with friends and family. They, heard that someone's invested in this and lost, hundreds of thousands. I feel like even investment properties, there's a lot of good energy or good talk about investment properties going around,
especially lately.
So people might be more inclined to do that and less closed to shares.
Yeah.
And then maybe, they buy an investment property and they maybe were too confident and didn't go through all the numbers and everything, and they didn't realize it was losing money each year or positive. Who knows? Yeah, it's
funny you say that, because it goes back to that question you asked me about, hey, what are some of the lessons I learned early? Some people I knew, I guess, whether they were mentors or people I looked up to in my adolescent years, real estate was kind of a thing. Growing up mostly on the Gold Coast, buying and renting out real estate. So when I was in my early 20s, that was something I thought about. I didn't think too much about the share market. And the first opportunity, I guess, my wife and I bought our first house. Same thing. We thought it because it was the right thing to do. The old, you can't go wrong with bricks and mortar. Yep, give or take. But there's so much more behind that. The experience we have now compared to in our early 20s when we finally got enough money together to buy this house, we didn't look into sort of too much of the cash flow side. We lived in it. But at that time in Townsville, the market was pumping. This was pre-GFC. Interest rates are up. House prices were literally going up in the tens of thousands every couple of weeks. And we're like, man, remember we had our pre-approved finance sorted. We'd got our deposit together. We went away on a 2-week holiday. We'd shortlisted a few houses, come back. Those houses had literally jumped 20 grand in like 2 or 3 weeks. And we were like, holy pap and schnacks. Like, if we don't get in now, how long is this going to go for? If we don't go now, in 6 months' time, it's going to be worth another 50 grand. We won't be able to afford that. So all those lessons, we kind of jumped the gun, asked the real estate. At that time, I didn't know too much about real estate agents. Hey, like, is this right? Is this house really worth it? And she's like, yes, we've got another. You can't go wrong on bricks and mortar. Like, there is so many layers to that saying.
Yes.
Like, and I remember hearing it as a kid. That's kind of where it ties from. But anyway, fast forward a bit. We were lucky enough to save for another house. Bought another house. We're like, right, we'll do what everyone else does. We'll rent out our first one. Didn't really dig into cash flow, negative gearing. Yeah, it was negative gearing quite heavily. But we did, what was the capital gain doing? We're like, didn't look into any of this. Long story short, I think that's the 50th time I've said that. No. Financial circumstances, we had to sell that at a loss, a big loss. So even now, it still stings. Look, can you see in the video? It's hurting me right in here. Like, we sold at a big loss. Like, mentally, it killed me for a while. My wife was like, it's only money. I'm like, it's only money. And that's the differences in personality. But anyway, the amount we learnt from that, lost a heap. The real estate experience was pretty cruddy. But I will still teach my kids bits and pieces. Like my 11-year-old, I've talked to him about like rentals and stuff like that, like how it works. Like, how come our old neighbours, why do they move so much? Well, they don't own the house. They sort of live there for a year because they rent it. Well, it's renting. Like, happy to talk him through that. Like, any of those questions, I guess, because I enjoy finance, but I don't cast them to the side. I go, well, this is sort of how it works. I could own 5 houses and rent them out to people. They will pay me money to stay in that house. And you can kind of see his cogs ticking over, and I might draw it down. But, we've seen a few people where real estate is unreal, whether they push it onto their kids or not. But, the lessons are still there, whether it's real estate. Like, I'll still sort of brainwash my kids for that. But that was kind of another lesson, I guess, but learned in our 20s.
Yeah.
Thought it was the right thing. Bricks and mortar, that's the old message. Real estate's always gone up. There's the in-betweens that matter. Interest rates, local market, projected market, cash flow. What happens if you buy this investment property and it's neg geared and you have triplets and the wife has, or the spouse has to take a year off and you're hemorrhaging, how do you pay for it? All this kind of stuff. Like, it looks awesome on YouTube. You know?
Yeah, they make it look really good.
These guys are like, I built up a $5 million portfolio.
Use this one to buy another one.
You don't know their backstory. You tell every mum and dad out there, just save up 200 grand in deposit or borrow a heap from the bank. And like, every story is different. And that's probably something up, and we'll sort of slip into like the messages for different kids. Yeah,
like I guess you got a few different kids that are at different ages.
They are.
And I guess teaching them finances is different for each age. Like, have you found, when they were, 5 is, what do you kind of teach them differently from 5 to being 11? Maybe
not so much 5, depends on the kid or kids. The maths behind it, yes. I'm lucky. I guess 2 of my boys really love maths. It's kind of a little bit easier. I really enjoyed it. My oldest kid, he's 11. He is really ramping up in the last, say, year or two on just what's out there. He's starting to figure out what stuff costs.
Yep.
And it's really starting to be real to him. He's understanding, like, I'll open his eyes to just how hard some people work for money, or, nothing's free. When we go to Woolies, see all these people that work here, they're getting paid by Woolies. This isn't a charity. Yeah. Like, all those things, they're just starting to kind of click. Everyone you see here, whether working for the council, working at the pool hall, at the swimming pool, they all work here for X amount of money. Depends on your job, depends how much you get paid. Nothing against it, but, the example might be the person who owns this shop or runs this whole shop, or is the boss. They like the boss word. Are you the boss, Dad? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm pretty much at the bottom of the rung. They will probably get paid more than, say, the person who's, I don't know, stacking the shelves or sweeping the floor. Not too fussed on that stuff, but there's definitely differences in it, and they definitely sort of notice when we're jumping online if we're, they can find out. They can Google. We'll let them Google how much a BMW is, or what kind of car does Cristiano Ronaldo drive, or how much money does he make?
Yeah.
I don't put the pressure on me because I don't earn that much. Like, it's definitely, the messages is definitely starting to soak in. I think back to when I was that age, but I was working then, like paper delivery, pamphlet delivery, working on weekends. But I was happy to do that because it could buy me my skateboards.
Is there a certain age maybe to start talking to your child about finances?
I don't know the factual answer to that. Maybe because of my interests and my background, that's probably why I've started so early. But for some people, they may or may not start for ages. Every parent's different.
Every child's different.
But it also depends on how you give the message across. I'd love to put my kids in the stress position for 4 hours in an interrogation style kind of room and go,
gosh.
Righto, this is what you need to learn and know before we finish this punishment about investing. That's probably what I do. I don't know. Maybe there's a gap in the market.
I see where the jail time's coming in. Yeah.
Well, they do boot camp for kids for fitness. Why don't they do boot camp for financial literacy? There's heaps of stuff out there on social media, like kids in high school don't know.
It's ridiculous that they don't teach that at school.
Yep. I don't know, if my kid comes to me at 21 or 18 and like, Dad, what's this tax thing? Why are they taking money out? I will give myself an uppercut. Like, what? Yeah, my mate just bought a heap of shares or something. What does that mean? Oh, everyone's different. Look, there's no right or wrong, but my personal bias says start as early as you can.
Yeah.
Because that will definitely help them reduce them coming unstuck in their later years. There's an old adage, I don't know, better armed or forewarned. I can't remember. Edit that bit out. I don't know. But like, knowledge is key. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But we live in a Western world where finance is key. As much as we don't want to, not everyone's about, how much money you make. But if you know a fair bit about it, it's going to help you. And, for the parents out there, I don't think there is a set age. And your kids, some kids pick it up real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some kids start reading at 3 years old, and mine didn't. Anyway, they love books, but like on the financial side, some kids just might gravitate towards it. It's like sports. They just gravitate, or playing hockey, playing football, chess club, swimming. Same as that stuff. They might see it on the news, depends what you watch. Like I've always got, most of the time, there's a little bit of sport on, but I'll usually get up in the morning and I'll have the American market report playing in the morning just so I'm up to date. My kids kind of watch that. They just see all the graphs and they're like looking at it. They might ask me a question, but if I just let them watch Peppa Pig from dawn to dusk, that's what they know. Like, but I have that stuff in the background. I'm always interested in watching in the business side of things. Parents did a little bit.
Yeah, right. So maybe just look for opportunities when they're interested.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Personal opinion, it will help them. Depends what the lesson is.
What about when they're grown up, when they're adults? Do you plan on teaching them anything, I guess, when they've got more brain power?
This learning-y thing is ongoing. Like whether you're 20, 30, 40, I'm pretty sure Warren Buffett spruiks about, he still tries to learn stuff. Like, and that's probably like this evolution of life. You can't stop learning, and finance is probably a big one. You're always going to learn. You can't know everything. You can know a lot, 100%.
Even us in the field, we're always learning. There's always more to learn.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my messages to them probably won't stop. They'll probably hate it. By that time, technology is growing where I can, the equivalent of slipping them a Mickey, I'll just put like a little SIM card implant in their brain so I can just send them
You're there
verbal.
all the time, yep.
Buy that chair, boy. Oh, should I put that in the monster thing?
Oh, my God. Who let him near the soundboard?
Yeah. So that'll be an endless one. And, for some parents, it's probably a good thing. And it might turn to the day where I'll be hitting them up for information.
Watch out.
Didn't spend all that time with my kids for them to, I don't know. That's personal opinion again. But, yeah, it's ongoing. It's
What about superannuation? When's a good time to talk? Like, they're obviously young and they don't see the next few years, let alone at 60. Do you think that's a good time to talk to them about superannuation?
Yes. Once my kids, they'll probably end up working at Macca's or for someone. Depending on their age, how many hours they work, they'll start getting paid super. I never got told anything about super. Like, yeah, sign up to this fund, put this in, and and there's how many clients that we've met where that is the case.
Yeah, because it's not taught in schools. So
what's this super business? What is it? Wow. It's a massive deal. How many people have we met that didn't really care about it? And now they see us in their 40s and 50s and they're like, I'm 50, I've got massive debt and I've only got 60 grand in super. Pump the brakes. It's okay.
Yeah.
What is that spot on your shoulder? No, it'll.
I can only imagine what happens in your appointments.
Personal opinion again. I'm a hugger. Remember, shout out to all my clients that I hug. Anyway, see Jessie for factual. See me for factual. A little bit. Hugs a lot.
Lots of hugs.
I will definitely coach them through or talk to them about super and what it is. It might not have to be the premier or at the forefront of their financial plan, but I've chatted to a couple of parents now. A couple have brought their teenager in and since I've helped them, they've brought their teenage boy or girl in, mostly boy. Hey, what's sort of? Can you just do a little bit of maths on that spreadsheet on like if my son or daughter what's super? What does it mean? And what does it look like? And you kind of hash through it. And I look, generally, if you invested in this, if you're 18, you got 42 years to touch it. Yep, that's a long time. But if you add a bit every year and you earn an average of whatever, you will be, I'm rich. But you will have a very comfortable self-funded retirement.